Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down why I think you should enter an event and how this can completely transform your training, your mindset, and your motivation towards training. It is no shock that I love competing, and I have done many different competitions, from HYROX competitions to half marathons, ultra marathons, strength competitions, Olympic lifting competitions, and fitness competitions of all sorts. I also try and push my clients to do these sort of events, half marathons, or HYROX events. Before I break down the main 3 reasons why you should do an event, I'm going to give you a bit more backstory on how I've ended up going from a skinny kid who was scared to go to the gym to competing in international competitions and taking clients to different events. I first started training when I was 15. And to be honest, I didn't really have any idea what I was doing. I had done a little bit of exercise before, I'd played about with some weights in the house, I'd done a few pull-ups, but I genuinely had no idea what to do in the gym. And for me, I started training because I felt intimidated all the time and got bullied at school. So for me, it was an outlet and it was somewhere to go where there was no one that could bother you and you could just get on with the gym, and as a result get stronger and people would stop messing with you. As you can see, when I first started training, it was absolutely horrific. And that's putting it nice. I had zero idea about technique. I would just go in, I would lift heavy, and I would just try and smash myself into the ground every single day. But the only positive that I can take from it was the attitude that I applied, was that I wanted to be there, and that has lasted me throughout my entire career so far. What's really important about my journey that you should know and try and apply to your own journey is that I spent years building a really solid foundation in the gym. Now, that doesn't have to be years for you. That could be the period of 4 to 6 months. And that would be to get your physique in a really good place, that from there, we could expand and start to look at events. That's generally the route that myself and my clients have went down. Initially, it's the gym. It's build a base of strength, and during that time, you might even be doing some running or some work on the bike, but we're most likely going to try and bring your body fat down, get your physique in a really good place, and once we're there, we can start to expand to looking at an event, a HYROX, a half marathon, whatever it may be. I'm going to break down why you should be entering events, or at least thinking about it for down the line. Number 1 is to have a motivation and a goal and something to really train for. This might be something that you've struggled with in the past, that motivation and drive to consistently go to the gym. It might just feel like you're constantly going around this endless motion of going to the gym. When you have an event in place, you have a date in the diary, you really have something to train for and push yourself towards. It is one of the most powerful things you can possibly do. I can genuinely sympathize with this when you go through periods of not having much motivation. You go through periods of not even wanting to train. And for me, that comes up when I don't have an event. As soon as I finish an event, I book another one. What I want you to imagine is in your personal life. It might be a birthday, an anniversary, something like that. You know there's a date in the diary. There's a date that this thing comes up. As a result, it's in the front of your mind. You're thinking about it. It's there. It's prevalent. That is the same concept that we apply to your training. We book an event, we train for it, and as a result, you're absolutely dialed in for that period of time. When you're training for it, you're smashing it, and then the event comes and you have a great time actually doing it. Genuinely, it's one of the most important factors for motivation to keep smashing your training and stay engaged with the process. You also don't need to compete. You're competing against yourself, and that is your biggest competition. Trust me, when you enter an event like this, there are a very small amount of people who are actually competing to win the overall thing. You're just going to be around people who are pushing themselves to become the best possible version of themselves. The second point is we can definitively say, are you getting fitter? Are you getting faster? Are you getting stronger? If we can definitively say these things, you're going to start really enjoying your training. For example, you do your first half marathon, you get a base time, fantastic. You then enter your next half marathon way down the line. And as a result, we can compare the times you got per kilometre, we can compare your overall time, and we can definitively say you have got fitter because you completed it in a faster time. It's not rocket science, but it is such an amazing thing to be able to see your progression over the course of these events. And this keeps your training fun and it keeps it engaged. If I take my own training, for example, this was my first ever half marathon. And if I use the last half marathon I've done, this was the time. As you can see, there's a pretty insane difference there. If I take some strength competitions, as you can see, the technique wasn't very good and the weights weren't that heavy, comparable to this one here. This is the process of entering an event. It is simply for you. You can see that you're getting better, you're getting stronger, you're getting faster, you're getting fitter, and your motivation is going to be an all-time high to smash it. The third reason I think you should do an event is probably not what you would expect. It takes a certain character to willingly enter something that is difficult. And the type of person that you become along the way is what you're training for. That is fundamentally why you're doing it. Yes, you're doing it for the motivation. Yes, you're doing it for structure and the discipline of it all. But the type of person you become along the way is why you're doing it. And that translates to every other area of your life. You genuinely become a better person to be around. You become a more disciplined person at work. And it all comes from being disciplined in your physical body and your physical self. Trust me, I've worked with so many clients who've improved in other areas of their life because they got their self in shape first and they got extremely happy with how they felt and how they looked. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. I wish you the absolute best of luck with your next event and I look forward to seeing you smashing it.